Welcome back, and we are still proceeding through the frozen land, and I'm just gonna have to warn you about this. Okay, Elrond is ready to promote, so I might as well put the spotlight on him first, making sure Sheeta can trade him that heal staff afterwards. Oh, just get it to him now, that works too. Right, Elrond promotion time. 4th promotion this run, I believe. Yeah, now normally he's supposed to be a sage, but yeah, I had to make him the gothic, angsty sorcerer this time. No boosted defense, but resistance, and he can now use staves, which is important. Now, he's going to have to take care of pretty much all my healing needs for this whole chapter, which means his staff rank is going to go up quite considerably, and yeah, it's pretty important to spam staves with anyone you want to become, you know, your secondary healer, like I'm going to make him. Because, yeah, there's one annoying thing about staff ranks in this game, and hey, Marth can go across water. Yeah, for those, you've seen it in action before, but yeah, Marth seems to be able to cross rivers. Not well, it takes a huge amount of his movement in order to do so, but he can do that, which normally only promoted classes can cross rivers, but Marth can do it always. So, towards the start, until everyone starts promoting, Marth is generally the best option you have for being able to cross rivers and do stuff, which is why I'm back in, hey, I can get Captured to use an axe for the first time. I like that frozen effect on the bridge there, like the whole bridge is iced over. Anyway, yeah, when most of your characters are unpromoted, that's going to change soon, but earlier on, when most of them are unpromoted, Marth is really the only one, apart from pirates, who can kind of do that. Which is important back in Chapter 10 when there are a bunch of chests across water that only he can really get. And unnecessary critical. Anyway, what I was saying before was, and again, that L5 tome would have been much more useful if ice dragons were weak to fire magic like they were back in the original mystery, but it seems that that's gone now. Gotta be careful of that second ice dragon. Once I take out this one, the chapter's gonna get a lot quieter and probably a lot more boring, so just be warned about that. That is until we get to the end. Yeah, like I said, there are really only 2 troublesome parts in this chapter, the very beginning and the very end. The middle is pretty much just boring slogging around the big spiral. So it kind of feels like an FE4 chapter in some regards, just getting from point A to point B without much combat. Unfortunately, I've exhausted most of my supply of random trivia, so, yeah, just be warned that I actually had to, that was awesome. I actually had to cut out an awful lot of, footage, actually, too, and the video was still as long as it is now, so, yeah, and again, Elrond's now going to start spamming staves, and again, it's important to do this because one annoying thing about staff ranks, you can't use arm scrolls on staves in this game. In fact, I'm pretty sure you couldn't in pretty much any game except maybe Radiant Dawn, I don't know. Basically, the reason is that in this game, arm scrolls work by increasing the weapon rank of the weapon you have currently equipped by 1 level. Since you can't equip staves, you can't boost the rank with arm scrolls, which means that if you want to increase your staff rank, you've got to do it the hard way. This is, of course, really, really annoying. And yeah, that means it's going to take Elrond quite a while to get up to scratch with the staff rank. Now, here, Beck over here won't attack you. I'm pretty sure he won't attack you, for the most part, but just to be sure, what I'm doing here is I'm staying out of, I'm not going within 1 or 2 spaces of him, because then he would be able to attack us without moving, and I'm just a little paranoid. I am pretty sure Beck doesn't attack me in this chapter, but just to be sure, I'm staying out of his range. He doesn't move, I definitely know that, and again, I am pretty much 99% sure he won't ever attack you unless you attack him first, which would be stupid. Now, see that spot right up there near Beck? Right between the 2 trees where Othmar is standing now? Yeah, you'll want to remember that shop. It's going to become important in a couple of turns. Well, probably very soon. Yeah, you can probably guess what's in there. Now, that chest contained a Wormslayer, so I can replace Marth's old Wormslayer with this new one. And right here, I can just heal fast a bit and get him to lure this Ice Dragon. There's only 2 more Ice Dragons left, but there will be more, trust me, and the more I am referring to are very, very annoying. Right then, now I may be able to notice how Fina has the silver and member cards. Yeah, in case you haven't guessed, that spot where Ozma's standing right now, that is the location of the secret shop in this chapter. So you're going to want to get there, and Ozma's going to have to get out of that spot and not get drained with the Ice Dragon. Right then, right, it should be secret shop time now. Now this shop here, okay, let me just show you what it sells here. This secret shop sells, come on, here we go, sells pretty much killer weapons. You can buy every type of killer weapon, plus Shaver, which is basically the magic equivalent of the killer weapon, and physics staves. We're going to want to stock up on those, they're really nice. I may also want to get a killer lance or two, just for my awesome new Falcon Knight and Draco Knight in my party. Probably set on killer bows, given that Jake already came with one. Shaver, I was tossing up getting another one of those, but considering this will be the last chapter, and this will be the last we'll be seeing in a long time of Wyverns, the users of Shaver will be kind of and Elrond is already well on his way to using Excalibur, so yeah, the next time we'll be able to use the next time we'll be fighting Wyverns, yeah, we probably won't need Shaver all that much. Sorry. Anyway. Now I just hope for some criticals here. And there we go. I believe Bash should be 1 level off promotion. Yes, he is. Oh, defense, that's nice. And, well, after we get rid of that Ice Dragon over there, I'm probably going to have to do a jump cut. Because after this guy, yeah, there's not really much worth showing. But first, actually, not really, but first, now, using that save point was kind of a stupid move, but I wouldn't realise this until much, much later. And since this particular part of the chapter is going to be sort of boring until I get to it, I guess I should pretty much explain this now. This map, just like the previous one, has a hidden reinforcement trigger point. Once you cross the northernmost bridge that leads right into the last area near the castle, reinforcements will spawn from pretty much every single fort on the map, plus a couple more from areas on the map that aren't forts. And they're really, really nasty. In addition to that, all of the 2 Ice Dragons and 2 Dark Mages near the castle will all move out too. Yeah, this is really, really bad, and I wasn't expecting it, and I didn't know what would actually happen until I tripped it. So, if you are playing this, remember that yes, there is a hidden reinforcement trigger point, and yeah, that fort right there is one of the trigger points, in fact. And the enemies near the castle won't actually move until you trip the spawn point. Because I didn't know about this spawn point, I basically just assumed I could use the save point back there with not much, wow, obviously being awesome, with not much penalty. Yeah. It turned out that since I had used that save point there, every time I had someone die to those reinforcements and that huge onslaught that you get right near the end, you'll see it, trust me, it's incredibly annoying. So basically, every time I had someone die and had to restart, I had to restart all the way back at that save point and have to do all this really boring slogging through the map, rearranging everyone's positions, and recruiting Beck all over again. Considering that I failed probably upwards 6 times, probably more, this was really, really annoying, and in the end I kind of had to resort to save states just because, well, I didn't want to go through all that, just nothing again. Again, I don't really consider this all that cheap, but anyway, because all the bit before I did the save state is pretty much nothing. Anyway, I just recruited Beck there. Beck, well, I'll talk about him right now. Beck. Well, there's not really much interesting to say about Beck in this game. He was a lot more interesting back in Shadow Dragon. Now, in Shadow Dragon, Beck was the second of the 2 ballisticians you got, the first being Jake. And Beck had the gimmick that he started with Thunderbolts, which were effective against other Ballisticians, and he joined in the middle of a chapter where you were fighting nothing but Ballisticians. So, he was actually pretty useful right from the start, and he was actually a pretty decent character to use in general, even if you were using Jake as your Ballistician. And all in all, I actually found Ballisticians quite useful and, more importantly, fun to use back in that game. Beck in this game, yeah, he's now a horseman, as you can see, which is a promoted hunter. I've already said that, haven't I? But, in this game, really, all he is just another throwaway pre-promote. His bases are pretty bad, and his growths, while they're decent, they're actually inferior to Robert's for the most part. In fact, I'd actually believe that Robert is pretty much superior to this guy as a pre-promoted horseman in every single way. Yeah, I mean, Robert certainly has better averages, and, well, really the only thing Beck has over him is a very slight magic growth, but it's not like that's going to do anything. Well, he doesn't have a 11 sword, but still, he's still going to suck at that, considering that his average magic is still hasn't risen 1 point higher than his base, so yeah, that's still going to be doing crap damage. But yeah, like many pre-promotes in this game, probably the only useful thing about Beck is the items he comes with, so just strip his inventory and bench him, basically. Poor guy. Now that Beck has been recruited, I'll go on the record and say nothing much interesting happens until we get to that reinforcement trigger point I mentioned. So, after I stop speaking about Beck and his recruitment and my opinion in this game, I will probably have to just do a jump cut to when we're all in position, because, yeah, that was... It gets pretty boring. Okay, so, basically, I found that Beck, I mean, compared to the other characters you recruit in the Unreached Way chapters, Beck's recruitment seemed pretty random and kind of forced. With Jake, at least, yeah, they did a very good job at justifying why he was actually there. He was there to visit Anna, and Anna has a secret shop there. It makes sense. Daros, it's kind of weird that a pirate would be in a lava, volcano-filled place of all places, but at least they gave him an interesting recruitment conversation, and an interesting reason why he's back in this game, and an interesting new dynamic to his character. Beck is pretty weird. He's just here. There's no real explanation given. He's just kinda here, and, nothing else is really made of it. It's just like, hi Marv, I'm here for some reason, I'm gonna join your army. And again, the reason for this is probably, now if you haven't played the original Mystery of the Emblem, you won't know this, but, in the original Mystery, no new characters joined in the entire space of the Unreached Way chapters. So, Jake, Daros, and Beck, as well as the Sable Knights, all of their recruitments were actually newly added to this game, and yeah, you actually didn't recruit anyone in these chapters in the original game. You wouldn't recruit anyone until chapter 14. And in this one, you get a new character each chapter in Unreached Way, so it's very different. And the reason for that is probably, again, why Beck's recruitment seems so out of the blue and sort of forced. But for the others, again, they actually did a pretty good job, especially Jake. They did a good job justifying why he was there. But, and then Daros, again, not so much, but again, they added an interesting new dynamic to his character, the whole fact that he's trying to atone for his past, and yet he still keeps going back to it. And then again, Beck is just kind of randomly here, for no reason. So, that's basically my opinion on Beck, and I'm probably going to have to cut this soon, because I'm going to have to make preparations for the reinforcement onslaught. Now, see that bridge right there, the bridge we're heading towards? The moment you cross that bridge and enter the central island, reinforcements will trigger. I probably didn't mean to heal Fina there, I probably meant to go for Ozma. I hate it when your finger slips like that. But anyway, I'm going to cut, and I'll see you when I've made preparations for the final attack. Here we are, everybody's in position, but before we proceed with the final attack... Oh boy. Yep. Another extra long special edition of... The Fail Channel! said before, that this chapter really only has two troublesome points. The very start, and the very end. The start was actually fine. I got through that on my first try. The end, on the other hand, was a different story. I probably failed more times here than anywhere in the entire playthrough so far. Firstly, I was completely not expecting this deluge of reinforcements. I'd gone through the previous map, knowing what to expect with all the reinforcement trigger points and the like, but because there was only one in this map, it completely caught me by surprise. It also caught me by surprise just how massive the stream of reinforcements that triggers is. You'll see when I get to the main run. But for the time being, just know, ouch. And of course, my only experience playing this game has been on normal mode, when reinforcements cannot move the turn they arrive. In that case, it's very easy simply to pick off the reinforcements the moment they appear. This time you can't do that, and not only that, but it's very possible for the reinforcements to spawn in such a position that they're in range to attack you right from the start. And in this case, all the reinforcements are very, very, very deadly enemies. Now, I had several failings right here, but, I'm only going to show two of them. One of them failed due to sheer luck, so you can understand me being pissed off at it. The second one was due purely to my own stupidity, and you'll see that next. For the time being, I'll show you the one that failed due to just plain miserable bad luck. My first failing, if I remember correctly, was in fact my very first attempt. And this one actually went almost perfectly until the inevitable end. Everyone dodged when I needed them to, crit when I needed them to, enemies moved where I needed them to move, and I actually got some pretty decent level ups. And then this happened. So, for any of you who wanted to see what a dragon critical looks like, there it is. To come so far only to be screwed over by one fluke critical. I thought I was supposed to be the one who kept getting criticals at 8% and the like. Oh well. That failure was not my fault in the slightest. I would have easily finished that if that crit had not occurred. The second failure, however, I admit was all entirely due to my own stupidity, and I'll show you why. Once again, things started off pretty well in this run. I concocted a plan to intercept and kill that one wyvern before it did too much damage, and other than that, we were all in position to get rid of the vast majority of the other dragons on screen. So, Marth kills that guy, he even got lucky and dodged his first attack. Elrond will do just enough damage to double and kill off this ice dragon here. Well, more than enough. We were starting to clear out the last of the remaining enemies around the castle, such as this ice dragon and that dark mage over there. Getting some level ups in the process. Oh right, now that was the good level up. Yes, that was it. That was the amazing serious level up. I forgot that. I thought that the first one occurred in the first failure, but no, in fact that was the amazing serious level up I was thinking of. And everyone was ready to promote. Just need to finish off this dark mage here. And with this, we were pretty much in the clear. Or at least we would have been if I hadn't been a complete and total moron. And done this. See that wyvern there? Now I thought I could have Bast attack it just for some cheap extra experience. You know, snipe at it with a hand axe. Now for the 1 point, the hand axe missed, so that whole move was for nothing. But only too late did I realise my mistake. Here I am counting spaces, 12 to be exact, and, as you saw there, 12 spaces, Bast is in range of the next wave of wyvern reinforcements, and he will not survive another hit. Yep, this means that, unless a miracle occurs and he dodges, Bast is going to die next turn. All because I got greedy and tried to... It wasn't even a kill! I wouldn't have even got a kill. I mean, it may have been worth it if I got a kill. And oh, and look at that, just to spite me, Ryan finally gained speed. It's as if the game knows I'm gonna fail. Just, for the record, the only run in which Ryan actually did gain speed was this one. I was wondering whether I could, stop the reinforcements by killing the boss, and realised I didn't have enough speed to double him. Yeah, this is not going to end well. Reinforcements, reinforcements. That's the one I'm concerned about. Yeah, Kashka's got enough to take this, but she's not the one I'm worried about. This is. Come on, Bast, please dodge, and of course he doesn't fail restart. This one, I think you'll agree, was entirely my fault. If I hadn't got greedy and moved Bast up a few spaces, and into range of the next wyvern reinforcement, I would have had finished that run, Ryan would have had 1 extra point of speed, and Sirius would have had a really amazing level up. But no, I instead tried to gamble on a mere 10 experience points, and it cost me the entire run. Yes, that was annoying. I was kicking myself mentally for a long time after that. Now, a long time ago, back when I first played Path of Radiance, my sister had a file. In one of her maps, the chapter with the crows to be exact, she had a perfect defense plan until she realized she hadn't moved Oscar and moved him out of the way. Little did she realize that Oscar was in fact vital to her defense plan where he was, and a crow ended up killing Mist. I never let her forget that. Now, finally, she has something to mock me about. I move Bast a few spaces up, and he gets incinerated by a wyvern. Right, this has been the Fail Channel. This installment of the Fail Channel brought to you by random enemy criticals. They always happen just when it will screw you over most, don't they? Enough of that, back to the run that was actually successful. So, I'll just go over the plan here and also the reinforcements. By the time we move past that one bridge, all of those enemies up there will move out. Now this time I decided to take an extra precaution. That wyvern that spawns from the top, the northeastern side of the map, really annoying in the fact that, that sometimes if his AI won't cooperate, he'll move to a space where Elrond can't hit him with Shaver, and then I won't be able to kill him. And having a 12 movement wyvern running around right behind your lines when everyone else is exhausted from fighting ice dragons is not good, and it usually results in someone dying. So, my plan here was to send Sheeta up to intercept the wyvern before it is and also to guarantee it ends up around the top part of the map. Now, these are the reinforcements. They trigger the moment you cross that bridge. 3 ice dragons and 2 wyverns. Yikes. Now, Ogma is going here and tanking on a forest hit. That was lucky. Okay, I realized the hard way that Ogma actually can't equip the Wormslayer there, because if he does, the ice dragon that spawned on the right-hand side, no, left-hand side of him will cross the river and attack him. Yeah, you gotta remember that ice dragons can cross water. Fortunately, I calculated he has enough HP to survive against these ones, although if that Dark Mage hits him, he's gonna be in a bad way. See this ice? Ooh, nice dodge there. Come on, you can crit, you can do it. Yay, there we go. Oh, I had so many runs where he didn't quit, and that resulted in numerous problems. But anyway, you might notice there that if the Ice Dragon fighting Ogma had died, that Ice Dragon's Master skill would have been able to cross the river and finish Ogma off. And that happened to me a few times, so I learned the hard way, equip weak weapons there. Now also to leave Catria behind here to take out this guy, but first to make sure that the Dark Mages go for someone else and not her, because if they don't, they can come over here and finish her off. Now the Wyverns. The Wyverns are the most annoying part of the reinforcement, naturally, so I'm luring them here with Ryan, who has decent defense, and here with Sheeta. Now I made Marth cross the river in advance preparation. Oh, what? Oh, come on. That wasn't 88%. Oh well, Marth is now in position to finish that Ice Dragon, since he crossed the river before I actually did his attack. Previously, he was on the other side of the river, and I realised that was annoying, because it meant he couldn't always get to the Wyvern. And when he couldn't get to the Wyvern, it ran rampant across the... What is it with Ogma and Critical and Ice Dragon? Okay, he's now Ogma the Ice Dragon Slayer. How many of them has he crit with 10% this whole chapter? Anyway, I need to get rid of this guy. Fortunately, I have a weapon that can one-shot him. Gotta make sure this Wyvern is dispatched, though, first. Equipping the Worm Slayer, just because another Wyvern is going to be immediately coming next turn. And my plan is to have him attack Marth and get Worm Slayer. No, that wasn't as good as some of the level ups I got with Marth previously, but oh well. Now that Ice Dragon down there is in perfect position for Elrond to finish him with Thoron. My successful run just had to be the one with a no-up in it, didn't it? To be fair, the level ups Elrond got in previous failed runs weren't actually that great anyway, so it wasn't too big of a deal, but still, oh, come on. And once again, Ryan gained everything except speed. I think it's official, my Ryan is getting speed screwed in this playthrough. This was actually pretty stupid, because I only just realised this, but Catria is now in position for the next Ice Dragon that spawns. That was pretty good, actually. The next Ice Dragon that spawns to cross the river and kill her. So I had to block it. That sacrifices quite a bit of experience, which is annoying, because, yeah, the reason I'm braving these reinforcements is because I want the experience, for the most part. But I had to block one of them, but then again, it's no big deal, considering that I'm leaving the lower Ice Dragon fort unblocked. Now, I made an almost fatal mistake here. I forgot to move Sheeta. Fortunately, luck was with me in this attempt, and she dodged. That could have been fatal. So, is the lesson to all of you, make sure you always use the button that lets you check characters who haven't moved. Yes, always use that before ending your turn. Because otherwise, you might find a vital character who you haven't moved, and they may die. That was pretty good, although I would have liked defense. Still, nice one anyway. Ryan's looking a little worse for wear there, but fortunately there are no more Wyverns after this. Now yes, I've left those two Ice Dragons below to their own devices, because I'm going to use them for some experience. Speaking of experience, Ogma and Narbal are now both level 20. And you know what that means? Super special awesome double promotion go time! Yeah, it's only fitting that the two, quote, eternal rivals, unquote, should promote together. But first we'll have to deal with this Ice Dragon here, and I might need to retreat Sirius just because there's another one coming, and he's not going to be happy. And that, I believe, was the last use of the heal staff, but fortunately Elrond is now a D, so he can now graduate to Mend Staffs. I want to get Basti experience here, so in a much safer way than the way I did in the failed attempt, but anyway, hope he doesn't miss, please don't miss, thank you so much. Oh, if he'd missed, it would have all been over and I wouldn't have had to do this again! Oh, you have no idea how annoyed I got at this part of the chapter. Like I said, this and the very beginning are the only two troublesome parts, but this one is clearly the more troublesome bit. Yep, made considerably more annoying by this game's gimped evasion formulas, but I'll talk about that later, because first, Double promotion go time! First up, Ogma. Ogma is now a hero, although it's not like he wasn't one before, all those criticals he was getting. I've mentioned before how I'm not so much of a fan of the hero class in this game, mostly because their speed cap is just not quite high enough for my taste. But anyway, second promotion go time! Narval is now a Swordmaster. Swordmasters I do like in this game, much more than I liked them back in Shadow Dragon. Now, interestingly enough, you might notice that they both got the same promotion gains in skill and speed, meaning that despite the fact that one's a hero, one's a Swordmaster, they both actually have equal skill and speed at this point. Don't worry, that's going to change very soon. Swordmaster has a massively higher speed cap than Hero does, so yeah, that's going to change. And yeah, good thing I used that heal staff, by the way. Ooh, nice one. He's still not quite fast enough to double them, but anyway. Now, we've got a couple of Ice Dragons here, fortunately. I can now use them for free experience for someone. Probably Mary Sue. She's the last one I have who isn't level 20 promoted yet. Well, not level 20 unpromoted. Well, if I was level 20 promoted by now, things would be ridiculous. But, dang movement costs. Yeah, this is part of the reason why Marth was, it was kind of annoying back in the failed runs. Anyway, what I was saying about the, evasion formula, now would be probably a good time to discuss it. In this game, yeah, evasion is kind of annoying, and Mary Sue is now going to be level 22. So she'll be ready to promote just as soon as we grab the Master Seal off the boss. This is probably the first time I've seen a Cavalier max strength, but then again, she is a Mary Sue, so it's, yeah. Then again, okay, basically, evasion formula. Now, in previous Fire Emblem games, evasion worked as... Little too much awesomeness there, Ryan, but I can't complain. Again, once Ryan promotes, things start dying. The others didn't really need the experience that much anyway, and still no speed? Are you kidding me? That's 2 level ups after promotion and still no speed, despite a 50% growth. He's still doubling consistently now, so it doesn't really matter that much. Later on it will start mattering, but not so much now. Anyway, speed. In previous games, evasion worked like this. You take double your attack speed. Attack speed is your speed stat plus, minus the, weight of your weapon, unless you're strong enough to carry your weapon without any, problems. Attack speed plus luck, which, if you had maxed in both areas, would give you a maximum evasion of 90% at base. And I'm going to have to interrupt this because Bark is now promoting. Triple promotion. In fact, funnily enough, all the characters I'm using who would have needed hero crests to promote in the original version are now promoting. Well, actually, Bast wouldn't have, considering that fighters couldn't promote in the original game. Have I mentioned that or not? Anyway, fighters couldn't promote in the original game, which was annoying, but now Bast can, and he is a warrior, and he is awesome. Anyway, like I was saying about evasion formulas, basically, now it's different. The formula now is simply attack speed, which in this game is simply your raw speed stat because weapon weight doesn't exist, plus half of luck. That means even if both of them are at 30, you only have a maximum evasion of 45. This is a huge step down. I had to open that chest with Mafia and make him take a detour. Spirit Dust is alright. This is a pretty huge step down, and it makes things much more annoying. On clear terrain, enemies will still have at most a 55% chance of hitting you. Which, again, is really annoying because, that's without weapon triangle, but still, 55% is still pretty big. And in later games, you could reduce enemy hit rates to, 30% was high by their standards. Unfortunately, you can't now, which means dodge tanking is pretty much dead in Shadow Dragon in this game. Awakening, for the most part, seems to have gone back to the old evasion formula, which most fans prefer. Now a random note. You may have noticed this already, but for some reason, the generic Ice Dragon boss in this chapter doesn't get a boss theme, despite the generic dragon bosses of the previous chapters, getting boss themes. This is really strange, and I have no idea why this is the case, so I thought I'd take some liberties and try and give him one myself. Fighting a dragon on the peaks of a snowy mountain, huh? Well, first we'll see Marisu promote, and then I'll go back to my idea. It doesn't really matter what class you promote them into. Reclassing stat changes are based on class-based stats anyway, and that's the same thing that's the basis for promotion games. But yep, she is now promoted. Anyway, like I said, fighting a dragon at the top of a snowy mountain, that gives me an idea. And on that note, let's finish up this chapter. Good riddance. And guess what? I have a double reason to say good riddance. Because this is the last time we'll be seeing wyverns for a very long time. I can breathe a massive sigh of relief. And a gasp of horror in knowing that that's not the last we'll be seeing of them the whole game. Anyway, we've now got a big revelation that apparently Zane says will give us a heart attack. So... yes, the orbs meant for that shield. Yes, these are the 5 spheres, and you only found 3 of them back in Shadow Dragon. Now, the shield being a pedestal is kind of interesting, because, slight spoilers, in Awakening it seems to be referred to as the Pedestal of Flames. Yes, the Shield of Seals, or the Binding Shield as they call it in this game. I'm not entirely sure why they go with this translation, but we'll have to wait and see what translation Awakening goes through. This is a serious plot point in Awakening, and that's why skipping over this game and localizing was a bad choice, Nintendo, because this game explains what the shield actually is. And, well, in Awakening it's a major plot point. Plot hole! Yep, you just introduced a gigantic plot hole into the series by failing to localizing this game. Thank you. You suck. Sorry, anyway, basically, apart from the 3 spheres we found back in Shadow Dragon, the Star Sphere, Light Sphere, and Geosphere, sorry I've been calling it Earth Sphere for a while, there is also the Dark Sphere, which you saw with Hardin, and the Life Sphere, which its location is currently unknown. But, for the time being, we have another one of these side quest conversations. To get this side quest, you need to complete this chapter in 20 turns on Normal, 24 turns on Hard, 28 turns on Maniac, 32 turns on Lunatic, or 36 turns on Lunatic Reverse. The secondary condition, in case you fail that, is do not let the 2 thieves you saw at the beginning of this chapter escape the map. That is actually pretty easy to achieve, and I did that, so we'll be going to the next side quest. This next side quest is actually very important, and one of the more interesting ones, plot-wise. But we'll see just why when we get there. It also introduced a new interesting gameplay mechanic.